Okay, so today's score is another piece by Mexican composer Herman Romero. It's an orchestra piece called Laberinto, and it's dedicated to what I'm assuming is one of his teachers, Julio Estrada, who's another Mexican composer from an older generation. And it looks like Romero wrote this piece between the year 2000 and 2001. I think this is around the same time as some of his string quartets, which we looked at, maybe like string quartets 2 and 3. Um, we've covered a lot of Romero's music over the course of now 100 episodes, and I don't know all of the episode numbers offhand, so I'm just going to list them in the subtitle here while I talk. Like some of his other pieces, this piece starts at quarter equals 30. He has like, he often uses very slow tempi like this in his pieces. There's no front matter to the score, obviously, but I can tell from this first page that the instrumentation is 3-2-2-1, 2-2-1-0, two percussionists, piano, and strings. And I can't give a complete percussion list because, again, I don't have any front matter. First episode in which we covered Romero's music is the one where I've covered his biography. I'm not going to go over his bio again today, so there will be a timestamp in that video if you want to just quickly go to it if you're interested. And yeah, this piece looks like it's going to have a lot of sustained tones, some interesting uses of subsections of the ensemble. There is a recording of this one on Romero's personal YouTube channel, and this recording was by the Orchestra Sinfónica de Aguascalientes, conducted by Enrique Barrios. It's about 20 minutes long, and you will be joining a exclusive group of people who have listened to this on YouTube. It has under 100 views right now. I'm assuming this picture is one of Romero's photographs. He, in addition to being a composer, is a photographer. Maybe after you hear my thoughts on it, you will listen to it, or you could listen to it right now. The recording is in the video description, as always. Okay, yeah, so this is definitely one of the more original orchestra pieces we've looked at. Maybe the most original, like, in the series so far. And it does remind me a lot of some of his string quartets that we looked at, like the long sustained stuff. The last orchestra piece of his we looked at had a super long clarinet note in it. This earlier piece has a high bassoon note completely exposed, like that moment, towards the beginning, and it is, like, it's so long that it doesn't look like a mistake at a certain point, and it seems it's obviously intentional, it's so long, but it's a really bold artistic choice, and similarly, the first, like, big entrance of the percussion is a really strong artistic choice. There's just like a lot of big moments, and the use of silence and time in general is just very bold. So I appreciate that about this, and it was refreshing to hear. The use of piano too, it has its own sort of like specific use, and everything kind of just happens once or twice. So all of these ideas, general ideas, are very almost, I don't want to say, mystical. There's like something mystical about it almost. As for like the pitch, I don't know how intuitively the pitch content was chosen, but it seemed to have a very like consistent harmonic palette that served the whole piece, and the last third of it was actually quite samey. The one chord after another all sounded very similar. So Yeah, those are my thoughts. I'm glad I was able to share this piece with more people. I think it needs to be heard. I think it could inspire a lot of composers and a lot of musicians in general. And it having heard his other work from around this time, it's not that surprising that he wrote something like this, but it does kind of stand out as um, just being very strange and having this sort of strangeness to it that I think is even harder to pin down than, say, his second or third string quartet, where you can kind of explain the piece in two or three sentences. This one, it is really hard to explain what makes it what it is. So, um, yeah, that's the piece, Laberinto. Obviously, the title means labyrinths. And that's all I have to say about it. So, we're going to continue with another Mexican composer tomorrow, I think. And we'll just keep moving back into the 1990s.